So guys, after thousands of interesting leaks, we finally have the iPhone SE 2. And this is one of those iPhones in my opinion which does not need a full-fledged review. So for starters, it's number one, a spec-bumped iPhone 8. And this means a great 3-year-old phone, the iPhone 8, which still does a good job even today, gets even better with the new A13 chipset. And number two, it's going to be Apple's lowest priced iPhone in a really long time. And even then, it's going to be very expensive in India. And number three, it's an iPhone, one of the best smartphone experiences available in the market right now. So what is Apple really doing with this iPhone SE 2? So it's using the good old tried and tested chassis from the iPhone 8 and throwing in internals from the iPhone 11 lineup, that is the A13 Neural Bionic chipset. I love the iPhone 8's glass aluminium sandwich design, and the product red which will be coming to the iPhone SE 2 will be really sweet as well. I would personally pick the product red over any other iPhone color because a portion of those sales are committed by Apple to medical care. So now the iPhone SE 2 is Apple's smallest iPhone, and some of us really like small phones, right? Small phones are cute, they are light, and they're really less obtrusive in pockets. The iPhone SE 2 has Touch ID and doesn't have Face ID, but which is fine in my opinion. This time, the iPhone SE 2 hasn't missed out on a single essential feature which I really like. We have a compact form factor, we have a great A13 Neural Bionic chipset inside, we get a robust iOS experience. The SE 2 is IP67 water and dust resistant. We also get stereo speakers. 18-watt fast charging is supported, but as usual, Apple won't bundle in the charger in the box. We also have wireless charging. We have cameras with software portrait implementation, which makes good use of computational photography like we've seen in the iPhone 11. Optical image stabilization for video, 4K video recording in a couple of frame rates. And you also have dual SIM capability with the eSIM service. So processor wise, Apple's A13 Neural Bionic chipset will be the best chipset they will have on offer until Apple ups its game with the next set of iPhones. I have friends and family who are still happily using their old iPhones with the latest and greatest version of iOS without having any major trouble. And performance-wise, the SE 2 will be a beast for the next few years. So what is the catch about the iPhone SE 2? Well, number one is the display. So the smartphone market today is full of smartphones which are offering phones with minimal bezels and great resolution. If you aren't someone who's picky about the tech specs, then to put it out there frankly, if the SE 2 does use the iPhone 8's 4.7-inch LCD Retina display, then the viewing angles should still be pretty good with excellent color reproduction and healthy amount of brightness for both indoor and outdoor usage. The display on the 8 is already very color accurate and adequately sharp at 326 ppi. What's not so nice in 2020 is those big bezels at the top and the bottom of this display. And like I said, in few markets, this phone will not be that affordable, and so those bezels will be a big deal breaker for that price. But I think it's too much on our part to expect Apple to launch a low-cost iPhone and then provide us with a beautiful bezel-less display, because we know for a fact that the iPhone SE 2 was built for a price. Number two is cameras. So budget phones like the Redmi Note series are offering cameras like a telephoto, a macro camera, and a super high resolution 48 megapixel sensor on board. And compared to that, the SE 2 is merely offering a 12 megapixel single camera and a 7 megapixel front facing camera. So I've already tried out the iPhone 8's camera and I really liked how color accurate and sharp the photos came out to be. But now the iPhone SE 2 will be taking that ahead with computational photography, meaning we get all those cool features that we like today, like portrait lighting, portrait modes, on both the front and rear facing cameras using computational photography. And this is something which is really exciting, and if Apple does get it right, like they have with the iPhone 11, then the iPhone SE 2's camera will also be something which is great. So the iPhone SE 2 is a refinement, and it's a concoction of some of the best things that Apple is doing with their smartphones right now. And yes, this is all happening at a fairly better price. This seems to be a well thought out move by Apple, and it's not like the Pixel 3a, which only had a good camera and had an average build and an average performance because of the mid-range chipset. So well, to put it out there, the SE 2 is not super exciting, but it's a good phone at a much dearer price. That's it for this video guys. I hope you like this video.